Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we're gonna have ourselves a 1v1 on Kholodny Ferma. Our heroes today are going to be Zero, playing as the Ostir or Wehrmacht faction in the red. And his opponent is going to be RNG Kobunite, playing as the Soviet faction in the blue. So right off the bat, we see Mr. Kobunite going for conscripts, and more conscripts. Pretty standard, nothing weird about that. The Soviet forces did not get an MG on their HQ, so we're not going to be seeing the Maxims like that. Still, though, we do see an MG on the field for Mr. Zero. Zero going for 2 Grenadiers, so tier 1 opening. But he did, of course, get that MG42, currently covering, or well, not even covering, but currently down in the southern fuel. Pio squad engaging against the combat engineers. The Pios managing to get themselves right on top of the engineers, but they did lose one of their men, so that may actually cost them the engagement. We shall see how it progresses. At close range, of course, the Pios will do a lot more damage than the combat engineers can do. However, they have executed another Pio, so that is down to 50% strength, meaning that the SMGs are not going to be strong enough to get them to kill, and the combat engineers stay alive. A lot of damage on them, very low in health for a 4-man squad, but they held strong. Conscripts, all of them are currently moving up in the north. We got 3, one of them going to the center, the other one going through the gap there in the hedge, and one in the far north. Center map, we do have a Grand Squad for Mr. Zero, holed up inside the church. 3rd Grenadier Squad going to be coming out, and the Pios still retreating, currently heading back to base. MG setting up in the center, going to be able to get a suppression going on those conscripts, possibly a pin down, but they will be able to cap the point before anything happens. Managing to get a couple kills there on their entities, but squad makes it out of there just fine. Doubtful that we will see any squad wipe this early in the game, but it is known to happen. So the MG42 moves up, goes for the center point. Gren's nearby for support. Gren's could do with running forward and trying to pop inside this house, simply to be able to observe the territory. The MG42 could be covering behind. But for now, they're going to be moving up to the north instead to try to recover some territory. Can go for this strategic point and cut off all the northern resources, which is exactly what Zero is going to be doing. Coming up on a flank behind it, Conscript Squad holding themselves up in that church. Going to be forcing that MG to pack up and leave. It manages to decap the point, but will not be capping it. Probably going to be setting up, no, not even on the tank, so it's going to abandon the center point and just move down to the south as a Grand Squad is capturing the victory point. Up north, Pios also being used to cap. And we see a mortar coming up for Zero. Interesting choice. Combat engineers back at base for Kobunite, building tier 2. So we may yet see those Maxim machine guns coming to play. Conscripts pushing up to the north as a Grand Squad is currently engaging the conscripts in the fuel. Going to be getting flanked here by the other 2 conscript squads, so it instantly retreats. Not going to be risking itself, even losing another member, so down to 2. Would have died very quickly if it had not retreated right away. Pile squad trying to take that munitions up in the north. Will be able to decap it. The conscripts do not rush forward. They actually set themselves up in the heavy cover of those wooden boards. So they do allow the Pile squad to decap the northern munitions. Pios will not be waiting around to cap the point completely, as they would have gotten themselves killed, so smart choice there. And the conscript squad in the church still hold up there, still trying to delay. MG42 got to be setting up to get some shots into the church. Will help out to, flush it out eventually, but still going to take a while. We do have the mortar on the field, however, so the mortar will actually do a much better job. Conscripts in the center capturing some point, more conscripts pushing forward. Gren's taking some shots on the side as they all continue to engage the currently heavily fortified conscript squad inside the church. Bunker going down there for Mr. Zero. An obvious med bunker, of course. And the mortar start taking some shots into the church as the conscripts are forced to evacuate and are going to go along their way. Conscripts up in the north going to be capping. Conscripts going down south for the munitions point. Going to run themselves into 2 Grand Squads. Grand Squads denying the cap, taking some shots, getting some kills. And with the volleys going forward, the conscripts will retreat as they do not want to get themselves killed. Maxim machine gun making its appearance in the game for Mr. Kobunite. Where is it? Well, let's go ahead and just click on it. There it goes. Currently set up in the center house, although it's looking in the wrong direction. You can, of course, set it to face a specific direction if you so wanted to. And up in the north, Pio Squad taking some shots on the retreating conscripts as a Grand Squad engages them and forces them away. Mines getting laid down in the center for Kobunite. Nice little placement there. And the mortar sets itself up behind this shack. It's going to be getting some shots into the center. Maxim machine gun still looking the wrong way. Of course, can turn around very quickly, but, you know, not going to be able to get a shot off really easily. Maxim in the center, now setting up to take some shots at the MG42. The MG42 trying to get some shots on the side of that conscript squad up in the north. However, since it got suppressed and eventually pinned down, it wouldn't have been able to do too much. Mortar shots continue to fly, trying to get that Maxim machine gun out of that house as we have the conscripts up in the north. Grand Squad trying to hold up against them, but they are not in real heavy cover. It's mostly light because two of the members are in the cart, whereas only one was in the heavy cover. Still, that was a one-man that got killed, so the squad retreats. And Kobunite controls the north. Well, not really. I mean, there's still a Pio Squad around there capturing some territory, but he wins that engagement and should have easy access to it. Mortar taking some barrages into the house. Zero, adamant, and trying to flush out the house completely if possible. Maxim machine gun evacuating. Doesn't really need to stay in there, and the house will be continuously peppered here until it goes down. Conscripts moving down south. We do have some troops down south. Not really that much, only a Grand Squad near the center, but yeah, I mean, Zero should be in a position to do something there. Far north, Pio Squad holding up inside the shack. The shack did not really provide them too many angles to shoot from, so they just pop out and retreat. Still at full strength. Could maybe lose one guy here on the retreat to the volleys. Nope. Looks like it's going to be just fine. Shots continue to fly, misses, and there he goes. Back at base, the medics will heal them up, so a little bit of a savings there in the manpower front. Mortar continuing to rain shells into the house. Has it down to less than half health now. Maxim machine gun set up on the road, up in the far north angle, I suppose. Into the victory point. Maxim machine gun does get a pin down on that Grand Squad. The Grand Squad is unable to do anything and will eventually die if it does not move. It's taking a lot of damage as it's currently getting flanked. Grand Squad moving up to take some shots at the conscripts. They will probably get themselves inside this house. We do see tier 3 down for Kobunite, and he going for the half track. And also getting the anti-air package. Anti-air package really good. The AA gun on top of that. Pretty good at killing infantry, also gets some suppress and such, so it's pretty strong. Maxim machine gun forced to back off a little bit, but still getting some shots into that shack. The half-track gets its gun upgraded and is laying into the house, getting a lot of damage in there. Grand Squad taking another hit, forced to vault over the fence and instantly retreating. Grand's coming up for a Faust. We'll get the Faust off, we'll get the crit on the engine, but with no follow-up and not even a pack gun around, Zero isn't really going to be able to do too much about that. He does have tier 2, which, you know, can allow him to get a pack gun, which he does now. But, you know, since it wasn't in the field before, you know, the Faust is just simply like, shoo, go away, go repair, and give me a little bit of time to set up. Conscripts up in the north. I'm going to be trying to go, I guess, for the strategic point here. They're probably going to pop inside this house to get some sight range. Mortar taking some shots from behind. We also see a conscript. Nope, Maxim machine gun getting inside that church. Mortar forced to pack up and reposition. Although it, yeah.
Enemy forces are attempting to capture our territory.
It needed to leave basically, so it retreats. LMG's opening up on the conscripts as the MG42 behind it also gets some shots in, forcing them to retreat rather quickly. But the Maxim machine gun has set up inside the church. Pios up in the north, going to be still trying to capture some territory. As we see the pack gun will be out onto the field right now. So the half-track back at full strength, now out on the field. That half-track will be quite a threat here to Zero. A gun on top, like I said, does a lot of damage to infantry, gets them pinned down even, so works as an MG. And yeah. Gren's forced to retreat. Oh, sorry about that. Actually, I wasn't hear that. Never mind. I'm not sorry. Pack gun getting a nice shot off there on the half-track, but the half-track did get the pin down on the Grens, although that was probably the Maxim machine gun. And they are unable to throw a Faust to snare it or anything like that, so not much happening there. Combat engineers and conscripts pushing forward, sweepers in tow, making sure that they don't hit any S minefields or anything like that. Grants trying to hold the line with their LMG. They should be able to do so. The combat engineers really don't provide that much firepower advantage or bonus, seeing as they have a sweeper. And the Maxim machine gun died apparently inside the church. Let me go ahead and note that so we can see it on the picture-in-picture, even though you already saw it, so I shouldn't mention it, but whatever. Still letting you know that I'm making a note, and that's why I'm not moving the camera. Downside, MG42 trying to stop the approaching infantry, manages to force away the combat engineers, but the conscripts have gone for the cutoff on the southern portion. Even though it doesn't really do too much, I mean, I guess it cuts off these two strategic points, but the fuel was taken, so the damage was already done. Grants pushing forward with their LMGs, the MG42 trying to stop the approaching conscripts, manages to actually do so as they Ura in an awkward angle and stay inside the arc of fire. But once they notice that they were not going to be able to really get the most of this, away they go. Half-track took some damage, but it's still alive, moving back, and still there. Conscripts up in the north, getting some stuff, and ooh, so interesting, very interesting. So we see Kobunite going for, you know, tier 3. I mean, well, I guess it's not that interesting. I'm still thinking in pre-patch, you know, mentality. So it's not that interesting because you do need tier 3 to get tier 4. But yeah, I was going to say it was interesting that he only got the half-track and then went for tier 4 rather than getting, you know, anything from that. But, you know, I mean, it's fine. There's no reason to get much else, and of course you do need it. So he got the half-track. He's in a good spot. He can go ahead and get tier 4 and go for those heavier vehicles, or well, the T-34. Zero, both players actually selected their doctrines. We see the mobile defense doctrine for Zero, and we see the guard motor coordination tactics for Kobunite. Of course, that means that he has access to the T-34-85 medium tank because of the doctrine. Does need to build it though. Remember that was changed, but yeah, there you go. Zero for his part though did call in a Puma. Puma apparently trying to go on the hunt for the half-track. Not managing to do so. I think it's made itself known. We do not have an AT gun on the field for Kobunite, with the exception, well, not the exception, but the only thing we do have is a guard squad. And the guard squad is not enough, I would say. So the half-track trying to play a ring around the entire field here. Gets hit on, but it does not get killed. Puma missing an opportunity to kill it, or well, not really an opportunity, not because it was very blatant or obvious, but you know, not being able to succeed in its mission right off the bat. So we see another Grand Squad getting produced for Zero, as he evidently lost one. So let's take a look and see where that happens. Other stuff, and yeah, I mean, not much else. Puma taking some shots in the center, destroys the wreckage of the tank there, making it so the conscripts take some more damage. Grants inside the church. The church has been severely damaged to other explosions and things of that nature. We do still have the pack gun nearby. Guard squad down south, capturing the munitions. Center map, the conscripts capturing the victory points. And victory points are down to 280 for Zero, while Kobunite holds strong at 480. So looking pretty good for Kobunite right now. He actually has a triple cap going against Zero, so yeah, he's going to get those points bled very low. And of course, if things don't go his way, well, he has a lot of buffer there as victory point goes. You know, time to recover. T-34 of sorts is getting built. Is that an 85 or the standard? No, yeah, T-34-85. Again, I mean, it is kind of expected to happen, although we did see that other game with Devim where he had access to both of the Shermans, the Easy 8 and the standard one, and he went for the standard one rather, so, you know. If he wanted to field a lot of tanks and field them, you know, quicker, he could, you know, instead of going for the T-34-85, just go for the T-34-76. that is, you know, you can almost field 2 with the amount of fuel, right? You only need an extra 30 fuel and you have another T-34 on the field. Whereas with the 85, sure, you got a stronger gun and such, but, you know, much more expensive. So anyways, T-34 85 on the field. The Puma is still a threat to it, but the T-34 85's gun is actually pretty good at taking down the Pumas. So, you know, it can actually just go toe-to-toe and most of the time should win. But of course, with a pack gun on the field for 0, it's doubtful that that's going to happen. Where's the Puma anyways? Down south. Kind of by itself. A little bit exposed there. Pack gun moving into the center. Going to be covering the MG, and we also have the mortar, so nothing but weapon teams covering the center. Southern portion, we have the Grens going for the decap of the victory point, but the combat engineers move in and stop them. Combat engineer squad though does get eliminated as it just sits there in front of the LMG shooting at them, and down it goes. Gren squad managing to decap the point and retreating right away. Well, I mean, it's fine considering what we see now, but I don't think Zero was aware of that, and I think that may have been a little bit premature, but, well, he did retreat the Puma. So he didn't want to get it killed, so, yeah, I mean, I'm saying premature because maybe the Puma could have moved in, get some shots, the Faust could have gone off, get the snare, and potentially sneak a kill, but no. Ooh, Puma running into the mine, getting itself engine damage, and it almost runs into a second mine. Thankfully for Zero, though, there's nothing nearby to follow up. No, never mind. That's a guard squad moving in its direction. Guard squad is going to be able to finish it off. All they need to do is pop themselves inside the church, although the church is pretty rickety. And we do have an MG nearby. The MG42 could be able to stop them. No, it's not in range. Grand squad moving up. Half-track moving up with its gun. Let me see if it can finish it off. Oh, main gun gets destroyed on the Puma, and down it goes. A nice little sneak kill there by Zero. The pack gun getting some shots there, almost taking out the half-track. Almost, not Zero, Kobunite. Almost killing off the half-track and maybe not making it worth it, but it all worked out in the end, so everything's turning out Kobunite. Grand squad backing off as the MG42 gets some shots on the guard squad. The guard squad is pretty bagged up here. Down to 2 men, makes it out of there, but almost doesn't. T-3045 taking some amount of damage, backing off, and we see Kobunite going for his own mortar, the 120mm mortar. I guess trying to combat that German mortar, right? Panzer IV getting built for Zero as he gets his tier 3 up. Panzer IV should be outclassed by the T-34-85, right? It's kind of close, but the 85 should win the engagement, so it needs either an advantageous position or better support. Conscripts retreating from the south. We see, man, a lot. That is a lot of mines all over the place for Kobunite. Zero could do with getting the hazard removal package here on these guys, just to catch some. He does not have the munitions for it, however. So maybe one of the reasons why he doesn't get it. Center map. Conscript squad going for the cap of the point. They have gotten themselves an LMG. As we see yet another Grand Squad dying at some point. Did I catch that and missed it? Didn't register it in my brain, or did I not catch it? Well, we'll double check as yet another Grand Squad dies. Wow. Where was that? Is that? No? Well. I'll see if we can catch those, because, yeah, I missed those completely. I mean, there's a lot of bodies here in the center, so I'm, you know, inclined to think that that is the Grand Squad that died. But how it died exactly, I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. Because that's usually how I roll. Now, the mortar did get 3 kills, so it's possible that it was a mortar wipe. However, I'm pretty sure it just hit the MG, and that's what the kills are right now. Panzer IV in the center, getting some shots on from the conscript squad. Mortar taking some shots at the Panzer IV, but not really going to do too much. And the victory points have been stopped at 206 for Zero, so again, I mean, looking rather iffy. T-3045 up in the north, just sitting there covering. We see a Teller mine getting laid down in the center victory point as a Pios cap. The T-3045 could easily run into that. We do see a second T-3045 getting built for Kobunite. And half-track veterancy 3 acquired, 15 kills to its name. What does it get? Mobility and reinforcement radius, and sighting and reinforcement radius. So, okay. Reinforcement radius is pretty cool. I like that it gets extended as it gets veterans. Veterancy. So Zero recovering some territory as much as he can. Pyos up in the munitions. Grens up in the victory point. And more Gren squads just continue to be produced for Zero. As he has his Panzer IV just moving around covering. Second T-3045 has come onto the field for Kobunite, although he seems to be sitting a little bit ways back now. Combat engineers with a sweeper getting right on top of that Teller mine. Teller mine removed. So yeah, unfortunate there for Zero that he's utilizing that. In hindsight, of course, would have been better for him to just use the hazard removal package on his Pyos instead of building a mine, so that he could start sweeping all those mines that are all over the place for Kobunite. How many do we see? We see one. We see two at least, right? Or no, this one already got hit. Should I be looking at the mine hits? I guess. Make a note here and see if I can catch whenever the mines get detonated. Just to catch those hits. There's one down here though, so there's at least another one. Up in the north, Grand Squad running into the half-track. Conscripts and guards pushing forward. Pyro Squad going to be decapping some points, but going to be quickly moving out of the way as it's, you know, going to get itself killed. Command tank getting called in for Zero, so that should help out this Panzer IV quite a little bit with that defensive buff. Pack gun getting some shots off on the T-3045. T-3045 moving back. The Pyro Squad up in the north getting suppressed. How did it get suppressed? Man tank moving up with its stubby little cannon there, getting some shots on the guards. The guards taking a lot of damage actually here. Could potentially go down. Man tank, however, does not have access to the machine gunner on top. It actually has the officer or whatever it's called. T-3045 moving into the center. Looks to be wanting to set itself up for a flank. Is this going to be a flank or is it going to be just an engagement to the front? T-3045 continues to move forward. First T-3045 down to about 30% strength. Second one coming up for the flank. Oh, getting a nice combo shot going off there on the lead Panzer IV. The Panzer IV getting itself behind the T-3045, getting some more shots in there. Oh, the command tank unable to do too much there. The buff seems to be helping a little bit as the Panzer IV has should survive a little bit. Oh, a nice little bait there by Kobunite trying to make Zero run into the mine. Very wise. Very nice. Very thought out. But unfortunately, though, for Zero, the Panzer IV does go down, and the T-3045 in the center does not go down. We needed to get that kill at the very least, so that it would have been kind of even. But with the T-3045 still alive, that's now going to be two tanks against his lone command tank. The command tank is not really that great against tanks. I mean, it's okay against vehicles if we're talking about, you know, lighter vehicles, but command tank, no. So many mines all over the place. And we see Kobunite still having a double cap, triple cap at this stage, going against Zero. No, he manages to decap the center point, so double cap still. 162 points left for Zero, 465 for Kobunite. That's a 300-point lead. I mean, again, he's in great shape. He doesn't really have much to worry about right now. Did not even lose one of his T-3485s. So he can set about building another one, although, can he actually? That is 14 population cap. Yeah, he can. He barely can just get another one if he doesn't. No, actually, he's fine. I was going to say if he doesn't reinforce his squads. But no, like with what he has right now, he can actually just get another one. And he has enough right now to get another one. So I'm going to assume he's going to try and get another one, right? Probably once he gets his third one, then he could just go in and seal the game. Unfortunately for Zero, though, he doesn't get access to anything heavier like a Tiger. He still only has tier 3, so no Panther or anything like that. Maybe he's going to go for a Panther? Maybe. Maybe he wants to? No, doesn't look like. Command tank gonna be scooting down to the south as the guards move up to try and catch it, I suppose. Command tank, well, the mine got hit down south. Missed it again. Command tank now engaging both of the T-30-45s at the same time. Not really able to do too much. Gets a little bit of damage in there. We do have the pack gun nearby for support, so the pack gun doing the real damage there. But it makes it out of there, so at least it's still alive. Oh, pack gun in the center goes down for 0. Guard squad probably going to be recovering that. Yeah, there they go. They're going to go for the steal. Mortar shot landing on top of them, almost killing off the remainder. But, yeah, they're going to make it out of there just fine. So even a pack gun is now against him. Yeah, it's not going to work well for 0. I don't see how he's going to be recover here. 112 points left. Currently triple capped. Not having control of anything. Building himself another Panzer IV to try to combat the, you know, the enemy tanks. Didn't work out the first time. Probably not going to work out the second. And again, he still could be staring down the barrel of a third T-30-45 if Kobunite wanted to. Doesn't seem to want to, though. He doesn't have the, oh, yeah, he doesn't have the population cap anymore. Yeah, because he stole the AT gun and reinforced. So, yeah, now he doesn't have the population cap. So, I suppose it's still a nice little buffer there in case he needs to, you know, in case he loses one of the tanks. Then he can just go ahead and get one. So 75 points remaining, still triple capped. Pack on being utilized to cap the point. This conscript move on top of it. I think this is probably going to be the last engagement of the game, and it's going to close out here. T-30-45 is sitting on top, just staring as guards and conscripts push forward. Pack gun is set up for the approach here. We'll be able to get some shots off on T-30-45. Second Panzer IV moves in. Going to see if it can turn the tide of the battle in his favor. Pack gun taking a lot of damage. Going to be focusing down on the first T-30-45. Command tank taking a lot of damage as it gets marked, basically. Marked for death, almost. T-30-45s take a lot of damage. Pack gun goes down. Second Panzer IV abandoned its position and abandoned its captain. Got killed. And with a sync error detected. So close. And that is all she wrote. Let's get away from that sound. Unfortunately, I hate it when that happens. But yeah, that was basically it. Hell, even the half-tracks stay alive, so it went pretty well for Kobunite in all regards. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the game. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you have any replays you want to send me, go ahead and send them to the email that I will put in the description. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.